Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Board Masters with me, Chris Mullins, and we are back on our customary Wednesday trip to Middle-earth with the Lord of the Rings living card game and scenario 5 of the Shadows of Mirkwood adventure cycle, and we are chasing Gollum into the Dead Marshes. And I've augmented my deck with some of the new cards, but we're basically going with the same decks that have blasted through Journey to Rosgobel and Hills of Emyn. And I'm hoping that we can have similar success in this one. But let's dive in. So 1A, into the marshes. You have followed Gollum's trail for days and are now closing in fast pursuit. In a last-ditch effort to escape you, the creature has fled to the Dead Marshes. Search the encounter deck for Gollum and add it to the staging area. Shuffle the encounter deck, then reveal one card per player from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. I already have Gollum there, so let's do another card. So it's one of the new ones, the Heart of the Marshes. So while the Heart of the Marshes is the active location, all cards dealt from the encountered deck for escape tests get +1 escape. And that's a new mechanic for this scenario that we will be discovering soon. And then Nightfall, when revealed, the first player makes an escape test, dealing 2 cards from the encounter deck. If this test is failed, place 1 resource token on Gollum and raise each player's threat by 2. Okay. So we're going to find out about escape tests earlier than I thought. So 2 cards. So the first player is my Spirit and Leadership deck. So I'm going to go with just Eowyn. And then draw 2 cards. Escape of 3 and escape of 2. So we have, I can discard a card, can't I? Okay, so I will discard a Light in the Dark to give the willpower of 5, which equals the escape of 5. So that was basically Gollum desperately trying to escape from us, and he failed. And that's an early example of an escape test for you. Now, the reason why we didn't want to fail that and add resource tokens to Gollum is because if Gollum ever has 8 or more resource tokens on him, shuffle him back into the encounter deck. And at the end of the quest phase, the party must make an escape test dealing 1 card per player from the encounter deck. If this test is failed, place 2 resource tokens on Gollum. So there's going to be lots of escape tests, meaning that I'm going to have to keep back lots of my main questing characters, which is a very, very different twist on all the scenarios we've had so far, and it's one that I'm really quite intimidated about at this point. But carrying on into 1B, so into the marshes again. So yes, said Gollum, all dead, all rotten, elves and men and orcs, the Dead Marshes. There was a great battle long ago, yes. So they told him when Smeagol was young, when I was young before the Precious came. It was a great battle. Tall men with long swords and terrible elves and orcs shrieking. They fought on the plain for days and months at the Black Gates, but the marshes have grown since then, swallowed up the graves, always creeping. And I don't do a Gollum impression, so I'm not even going to try. And so we need 12 progress tokens to clear that, which is significant given, as I've already said, we're going to be using a lot of our questing characters for, escape tests. So it's going to be an interesting balance. I think we're going to be relying on the allies in this game. And so let's get started. So we've got the Spirit and Leadership deck as the first player. And I actually have a scarily good first hand that I almost reshuffled this back in because it's basically a collection of all of my favourite cards, and I figured anyone watching wouldn't believe that I happened to draw this as an opening hand. So I've got my Northern Tracker, my Steward of Gondor, my Galadrin's Greetings, a Faramir. But I won't be playing any of them yet because, I can't afford any. So I'll be diving straight over to Lore and Tactics. And again, over here, I've got a Burning Brand, which I can attach to Denethor, so he's immune to shadow effects. I've got a Born Aloft and a Gandalf. I've got Haldir, who's a good ally who can quest as well. But I think because of the costs at the moment, I'm going to go in with a Veteran Axe Hand. He's not going to help me with the questing, but he will be of use to fight enemies, so that frees up probably Gimli to do a bit more questing. So I will initially, so for questing now, I will commit Aragorn and Gimli. And I might go with Legolas as well, because I've already got 3 up there. And so that would be 5. Okay, so the first one is a giant marsh worm, which is one of the new cards in the deck. So forced, remove 2 damage from giant marsh worm at the end of each round. So he's going to start healing himself when he's in battle. And the next one is Fens and Mires. After the players travel to this location, place 1 resource token on Gollum. Ouch, okay. So that is 6 up there against my 5, so we failed the questing. And then it is the party must make an escape test. Right, so I don't want to spend that resource token on Aragorn yet. So I think I'm going to struggle here. I will send Eleanor and Denethor, so I have 2. Fens and Mires has an escape of 2 and an escape of 5, so I failed that one. It's my infamous shuffling again, is keeping all the new cards together. So for a failed escape test, place 2 resource tokens on Gollum. So he's a quarter of the way to escaping already. I'm not going to engage the worm because I've got nothing to engage it with, but I am going to travel to the heart of the marshes, which is going to make those escape tests a lot harder because it adds 1 to each value, but it's a 3 threat, so I need to get it out of there. And that's the end of that turn. Not a successful one by any stretch. Okay, so I'm now going to get the Burning Brand into play onto Denethor for when he does have to defend. And that's going to be that. Over to this side. And with leadership, I'm going to spend the 2 to get the Steward of Gondor, and I'll attach it back on Aragorn. And the reason I'm going to do that is because he can spend a resource to ready, so he can quest and then spend a resource to ready again for an escape test, which is very valuable. And so I'll exhaust it to get those 2 resource tokens back. And then I will spend 1. No, I'll wait for Faramir actually, but I will spend my 4 spirit tokens on a Northern Tracker. Right, so questing. I've got 3 up there, so I'll do Aragorn and Eowyn and the Tracker. We'll put a location on there. So that's going to give me 7 against 3. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. The Lights of the Dead. When revealed, each player must make an escape test, dealing 2 cards from the encounter deck for each test. So I will exhaust Eleanor to cancel that. So to replace that one, a Wisp of Pale Sheen. When revealed, place 2 resource tokens on Gollum. Any player may exhaust a Lord character to reduce this effect to 1 resource token. So I may as well do that. And then the second card. Despair. Remove 4 progress tokens from the current quest card. That's fine. Okay. So now I need to do an escape test. And I will pay my resource to, so Aragon can do it along with Gimli. I may as well put Legolas as well because I'm not going to be engaging in combat this go. Although, hang on, what did it? So 4, 7. So I had 7 against 3, so I cleared that. Heart of the Mires. I almost forgot to resolve questing then. So I cleared that before the escape test, so these I'm going to get +1. And then I've got Gimli, Legolas and Aragon. So I've got 5. Okay. Escape of 5. Escape of 5. Well, at least we're getting rid of all of those cards now, I guess. Okay. End of another turn. I don't think we'll be getting through this without Gollum escaping back into the deck at some point, because he is very close already. Okay, Campfire Tales. Or do I want to get a Faramir? Let's get a Faramir, because he can actually boost the willpower for escape tests as well. It's not just for quests, so that's very valuable. And there's nothing else I can afford there at the moment. Again, I can afford a Gandalf, but it's a bit early at this point. Although I do have the Born Aloft card, so I basically get to play it for free. Okay, let's do that. And I will reduce the threat by 5. Okay, so questing. We've got 3 up there. So Aragon doesn't have a resource, so he's not. Well, let's do the tracker, because it's going to clear that. And let's just go with Gandalf. So that's going to be 5. There's 1 there. Okay. So Fens and Mars is back, so that's another 2. Then the Brown Lands, which is 5. Fantastic. 2, 5, 7, 8. Against my 5, so increase my threat by 3. Okay. So then the escape test, Eowyn, Aragon, and Gimli, so that's going to be 8. Escape of 2. Escape of 6, so I succeeded on that escape test. Travelling will travel to the Brown Lands, which places a progress token on it and clears it. And then I will discard Born Aloft to put Gandalf back in my hand. And that's the end of another round. So that's not bad, that could be quite useful. Okay, so I'm not going to play anything on this side at the moment. Oh, that is what we wanted. So we've got a Celebrian Stone, which I'm going to attach to Aragon, and that gives him +2 willpower, and also means he can contribute to spirit card costs. So he's a 4 willpower now. I'm going to then put a Dunedain mark on Legolas, which gives him +1 attack. And I will also spend my 3 spirit on a Galadrin's Greetings, which will reduce this side's threat by 6, so it's not going to get engaged by the giant worm. Okay, questing. The tracker. So there's 3 there. Gimli and Eowyn. Should have saved that token from the mark on Aragon, to be honest. So 4, 5, 7 against 4. When revealed, the first player makes an escape test. Let's just exhaust Eleanor to get rid of that. Through the mist, the first player makes an escape test counting attack instead of willpower, dealing 2 cards. Okay, well that's worked out quite nicely, because I can then use Legolas, the Axe Hand, and Denethor, and that will give me 6 against 3, and nothing on there, so that was a success. Okay, so we have got a threat there of 4 against my 7, so I've got 3 progress tokens. I'm not going to travel there because I'll clear it in a moment. I'm not going to optionally engage a worm yet. So that's the end of that round. This mechanic is still very, very peculiar to me. I think I was able to feel quite natural playing the other scenarios, the last 2 anyway, but this one is just very, very strange. Okay, so I'm going to play Campfire Tales, which allows both players to draw a card. I will put another Dunedain mark on Legolas. And I will use my spirit tokens to play a Lorien Guide over this side. I think I will play Gandalf again, and again use my other Born Aloft. And this time I'm going to use him to place 4 progress tokens on one of these worms, in the hope that I can then engage with Legolas and kill them off. Right. So questing. There is 4 up there. So tracker, which will clear that one and free up 2. And let's go with Eowyn, so that's 5. 5 against 2. And Gandalf. So 9 against 2. Despair when remove 4 progress tokens from the current quest card. I'm going to use Eleanor to cancel that one. Eastern Crows. So Surge. And that's going to bring out Evil Storm. Deal 1 damage to each character controlled with a threat of 35. So that's no one. And then the second one. Each player raises his threat by 1 for each character he controls that's not currently committed to a quest. So there's going to be 3 over here. And 4 over here. In terms of questing then, that's 4, 5, 9 against 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I need to do an escape test. So I'll have Aragon, the guide, and Gimli. So that's going to be 5. And I have Faramir who can add an extra 2 if needed. The worm, so escape of 2, escape of 2. So 4, I was successful. Nowhere to travel, engagement. Both worms actually are going to engage this side because it's 36. And I'll optionally engage this one over here. Okay, so I will defend with Faramir. Shadow effect is nothing. So 1 attack against 2 defense does nothing. And on this side, I will defend using Denethor against this one. He's immune to shadow effect, so that does nothing. And then this one, I'm going to let go undefended, sorry. Shadow effect of nothing, so it's 3 damage, which all goes on a hero, which can go on Gimli, which will just beef him up a little bit. Okay. And then attacking wise, Legolas has got 5 attack. And the Axe Hand's got 2, so that's 7 in total. So I can kill that one off. Or seriously wound that one. Let's kill this one off. That's then going to put another 2 progress tokens down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, so we're up to 11 there. And I'll pay my resource to ready Aragon so he can then kill the crows. And another round is ticked off. I'll discard Born Aloft again to get Gandalf back in my hand. Okay. Right, so there is nothing I want to play here. I've got another Dundane mark. So again, I'm just going to keep piling these on Legolas. And then I think I'm going to use one of Aragon. He can contribute to the spirit cost, so I'll put another guide out. And okay, so questing. I only need 1 progress token, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, got nothing in the staging area. So let's just go with Eowyn and Aragon. The Heart of the Marshes, so that's 3. And Fens and Mars, so that's 2. So that is now 5 against 6. That is cleared the first stage of this quest. But I do... Okay, so 2A, the capture. After a tiring pursuit through the treacherous marchland, you have cornered Gollum and move in for the capture. After this stage is defeated, the first player chooses a player. That player must pass an escape test dealing 1 card from the encounter deck for each resource token on Gollum to capture. If Gollum is not captured, reset the quest deck to stage 1B. Okay, so for that escape test, I'm going to need to clear 5 cards worth of escape, so that's not good. I do need to do an escape test now. So I will do Eleanor, spend the token on Aragon to commit him, so that's 3. Tracker, Guy, and the 2 guides. So that's 6. And I can add 5 more to that with Faramir if I need to. Escape of none. And escape of none. And that's got both the hill trolls out, so that's a bonus. So I passed that one. Do I want to travel? Don't think I do at the moment, because that Heart of the Marshes is going to make every escape card at +1, and I might be going for Gollum pretty soon. So let's resolve combat with this giant marsh worm. And I'm going to play Feint. So that will choose an enemy engaged. That enemy cannot attack this phase, so he's not going to attack. And that will allow me then to use all of these to attack. So Legolas has got 6, Gimli does 5, so that's enough to kill it already. And that's going to put 2 progress tokens onto this. And that's the next round. Keep dropping my tokens tonight for some reason. Okay. Nope, nothing I can play over there. And again, nothing much I can play here. I don't think I really want to play Gandalf at this point. Annoyingly, I would love to have Gandalf on this side to help with an escape test. Although I could play Gandalf and use him to quest on this side and save and go big on the questing here to try and do the capture. I'm going to do that. 3, 4, 5. And I think I'll reduce the threat by 5 just to be safe. And then questing, we've got 5 up there, so I'll have Gandalf, Gimli, Denethor, and Legolas. That's going to be 8 against 5. And Faramir can obviously add another 4 to that if needed. 8 against 6, but the crows have surge. Each player raises his threat by 1 for each character that's not committed to a quest. So that's going to be 1 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would normally use Eleanor to cancel that, but I'm hoping at this stage it won't matter. And then deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35. So that's going to be everyone over here, but thankfully that's not going to do any terminal damage. So that's more than enough because we've only got 6 up there. So we got the progress token. Right, so after this stage is defeated, which it is now, the first player chooses a player, which is going to be Spirit. That player must pass an escape test dealing 1 card for each resource token on Gollum. So he's got 5, so I will be committing Eowyn, Eleanor, Aragon, who's obviously got 4 willpower now, the tracker and the 2 guides, and then Faramir can add another 6 if needed. So what's that? 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Escape of 2. Escape of 6. Escape of 8. Still an escape of 8. And still an escape of 8. And I had an escape of 12. So I have captured Gollum. If this final escape test is passed, the players have captured Gollum and won the game. So yeah, we have absolutely blazed through the Dead Marshes, and this was one I was really nervous about because of the escape test mechanic. So that was an incredibly successful evening of questing, and the 3rd scenario on the bounce that I have ticked off in one play. And so next week we will be going on to the final scenario of the cycle, and I believe that is Return to Mirkwood. Off the top of my head, I've got it here somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be going on to Return to Mirkwood next week. I had no confidence that I would be saying that in this playthrough, so I wasn't entirely sure what it was called. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. It was very different to anything else that I've played in this game so far, and I really loved that. And I can't wait to see what the next scenario throws at me as well. So thank you very much for watching, but I'm going to leave it there, and look after yourself, stay safe, and have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye now.